struggling with a thigh injury. Mauricio Victorino continues to deputise. He's number 6 and plays alongside Lugano. It's 4-4-2. They do expect number 7, Edinson Cavani, to join Forlan and Suarez in attack as frequently as possible. Suarez with 3 goals in the tournament, Forlan with 2. They are a dynamic spearhead. The officials who await the captains here. Olegario Benquerense of Portugal is the man in charge, flanked by Jose Cardinal and Bertino Miranda. Alberto Undiano is the 4th official. We now look at the way Ghana line up. They're forced into 2 changes, one of which they definitely didn't want to make. The exciting Dedi Adu is picking up 2 cautions and is out of the match, so the experienced Sully Muntari comes in on the left flank. And with Jonathan Mensah also suspended, there's a place for Isaac Vorser at centre-back alongside John Mensah, number 5. But that's good news. Vorser was first choice at the beginning of the tournament, and he's timed his return to fitness to perfection in the absence of Jonathan Mensah. Gian, Ghana's top scorer. It was a thrilling goal. He contributed to knock out the United States. And Diego Forlan, Atletico Madrid won the Europa League, and he was instrumental in them doing so. The game is underway here in Soccer City. It's Uruguay against Ghana for a place in the last 4. And not many people will probably have picked them at the start of the tournament. Uruguay, a great side pre-war. And then in the early 50s and 60s, they lost their way a bit in recent times. Goes straight out of Suarez, who's been a big hit with Ajax in the Dutch Eredivisie, scoring over 50 goals in 2 seasons. This is Sape, the very experienced fullback of Ghana, 32 years of age. And then Kevin Prince Boateng. Gian spreads the play over to the right side, and then it is stroked out. Taken over by someone. With a weak pass from him. And that will be the first free kick of the night, right on the centre spot, awarded by referee Benquerense. John Mensah in rather roughly there. This is the captain of Uruguay, Lugano, winning his 47th cap tonight. He's following on the lines of Paulo Montero, if you remember him, the former Juventus centre-back who gave great service to Uruguay over many years. Forlan back. Tussling for possession out there is Cavani, who played on the right side against the United States, but tonight shows his versatility by playing on the left. And here's another man with a reputation of being very versatile, Maximiliano Pereira, with that excellent Portuguese club Benfica. So this referee Benquerense will know him well. Long ball here, much too long for Suarez to bother chasing. In an offside position anyway. Suarez, who's really set the World Cup alight with his goals. A winning goal against Mexico and then a couple against Korea Republic. So he's in sharp form. There the coach Tabarez of Uruguay, 63 years of age now. His 9th World Cup match, and that brings him level with Juan Lopez, who was in charge between 1950 and 1954. Towards Forlan, he'll actually get to this as well. Forlan, it's opening up a little bit here. He's got a real choice, but he's played it a little bit too hurriedly, a little bit too far in front of Alvaro Fernandez. The cross nonetheless flashes through, and the goalkeeper seemed a little unsure about that, Kingston. Fernandez here, well, it looked as though it had gone out and then curled back in. Forlan on the charge. It's a sight to behold. Certainly his goals that won Atletico Madrid the Europa League final against Fulham, the English club. Ghana not quite settled into the game as yet. There goes Sape, who plays with Bayer Leverkusen in Germany, and have Michael Ballack as a colleague next season after The former, the German captain is normally around after his move from Chelsea. Somewhat. Until. And for Gian to take on the thigh. Another real success story of these World Cup finals. Samoa Gian. Rewatch, the coach there, who had the unusual situation of coaching his team Ghana against the country of his birth, Serbia, in the very first match. Ghana won it by a goal to nil. That will be the first corner of the match, and it goes to the South Americans. There have been 4 victories for South American teams over Africans in this World Cup already. Also with the touch on it. First corner of the night for Uruguay. Forlan takes a lot of the set pieces for Uruguayans. There'll be a massive audience in South America for this one. All those who couldn't get to Africa. It's drilled in hard and low and then booted straight back out by Incoum. Pat on the back for Samuel Incoum, one of the youngest players here at just 20 years of age. He helped the under-20 side actually win the world title in Egypt not long ago. 8 or 9 months, that's all. Forlan could try again. He'd probably get a bit more height on this one. He does. The defender got there before goalkeeper, and that's gone out, slewed off the outside of the boot of Arivalho. Well, Kimpson went up for that one, and he put an elbow to the back of his own defender there, John Mensah. Ghana have scored some of the earliest goals in this World Cup. They netted after just 5 minutes against the United States to Kevin Prince Boateng. Not so early tonight. So Fernandez, who's been brought into the side and has the nickname of Pajaro, which means bird. He's very light and very slim. It's a great stadium, isn't it? Soccer City here in Johannesburg, recently constructed. It's a remodeled stadium. But it's a wonderful legacy for the World Cup finals in South Africa. And you remember the great Lucas Radebe, who played for South Africa and the Kaiser Chiefs and Leeds United. He was born literally just across the road from here. He said it brought tears to his eyes when the opening fixture was played here between South Africa and Mexico. Ghana have a promising position. First time they've been this close to the Uruguayan goal. Victorino, an uncompromising defender, but he's overdone it slightly here, so Montari will aim this one in. Gian is often on the end of things like this, and they're summoning 5 players in the red and yellow. With Samoa also just hanging around outside the D. So this is Montari. Headed away successfully. Here is that man in the Samoa who was outside the area and pops in the shot. Wide of the goal. Not got a goal in these World Cup finals yet. Quaggio Samoa. He plays for Udinese in Italy. Seems a long time now since Italy went home. The Uruguayan goalkeeper, a young man, Fernando Muslera, who also plays in Italy at the Lazio club. He's 24 years of age. He was 4th choice goalkeeper at this time last year. He's gradually moved up through the pecking order. Hefty swing of the left boot dispatches the ball up beyond Gian. A great deal happening so far in these opening skirmishes. That's probably to be expected. Tension builds as the game progresses. Just Just a reminder in case you didn't know that if the scores are level after 90 minutes, we then embark on a 30-minute spell of extra time. If they're still level, the scores, we have a penalty shootout. We have had one already in this World Cup. Paraguay defeating Japan by that route. Kept in by Cavani. The ball will surely be too long here again, and runs out harmlessly. With a message to him, he's still a very young man as well, just finding his way in this game at 23. Done well though in Serie A in Italy with Palermo. Kingston's kick, well over halfway, and it will be picked up here by Kevin Prince-Boateng, who really got the crowd excited in Rustenburg when he scored. This one requires Kingston to pick it up. Suarez going in on him. No alarm for the goalkeeper there. This is Boateng. There's another Boateng. Derek on the bench for Ghana as well. Across to Panzer. Then Annan loses the possession. It was a fair challenge to win it. The danger is here to the Ghanaian defence. Suarez trying to find a way in. Kingston beats it away. First real chance in the game, and it was a bit of sloppy play from Annan that allowed that opportunity to present itself for the South Americans. Now Kevin Prince-Boateng, a rather ambitious ball. 10 minutes have gone by, we haven't had a go. Now this, by the way, is the first time that Uruguay and Ghana have ever met at senior level. This was the moment when Suarez got the ball inside the area, shows the right foot. He's a two-footed player, though. Unlike many footballer here, it's surprising how many players he's at this level of one-footed. Forlan beaten in the air by John Mensah. Huge figure at the back for Ghana. They have the majority of support in the crowd here this evening. Fernandez awarded the free kick by referee Benkerensa. A cool night, but a pleasant night for football. Not as cold as some of the evenings we've had. Good playing surface as well. Perez will leave the throwing duties to Pereira. And that's another free kick, this time against Muntari. I've been awarded 3 of the first 4 free kicks in this game. That was why Muntari upset the referee. Once again we see Diego Forlan coming over to take this one. And we again see a quintet of blue shirts in there, snuggled in among the red and yellow ones, trying to find a gap, trying to work Kingston, the goalkeeper. All goalkeepers seem to be worried about the flight of this Jabulani ball. And there is a spare man at the back in Lugano. And then it's looped over the top, but that's a comfortable and a routine catch for Kingston, who hurls it out first time. And Gian handled. He didn't think he did, but according to the referee's assistant over this side, Jose Cardinal, he did handle it. Stop protesting, he says. You never win. There's no point in it. Top of the arm, maybe. Still he argues. The craziness of that is that the referee will have made a mental note of that. The next time Gian speaks out of turn, he will get a yellow card. And it goes again, and no, fisted in the air. That was certainly uncertain goalkeeping. He's got away with it because the whistle's come to his aid. But Kingston there seemed very uncertain. As Forlan hit it in with some venom, he ended up fisting the ball straight in the air, and it could actually have embarrassed him and dropped behind him into the net. Looks as though he's about to throttle Luis Suarez. Anyway, he did get his fist to it, and no harm was done for Richard Kingson. Montari, just beyond Gian, shepherded away to safety by Victorino. He's deputising once again in here for Diego Godin. Clever little flicks, the crowd excited by that, but it's going to be a goal kick nonetheless. Ghana have done really well to overcome the setback of losing their star man Michael Essien for these World Cup finals. Sepp Blatter in the middle, Sahaya 2 on his right, and all the great and the good, and Abidi Peli, who will be watching with interest as well. Shame neither of his sons are playing. And this one's going to get through, is it? It was almost over the top of the defender. But Mensah's just about covered his tracks. It was an awkward ball, well taken down by Suarez. Mensah gets an arm across him. No foul. No complaint either from the striker. Uruguay's third corner of the night. Ghana have not yet had one. Is there to be a breakthrough just inside the quarter-hour mark? From a Diego Forlan corner for Uruguay. Kingson looking anxious on the line. Plenty of height on this one. Once again, the referee's whistle means that there can't be an outcome to the corner kick. No doubt he's seen a little pushing and shoving there. No more than we often see without a whistle. Vuvuzela was around this evening. A lot have been sold here in South Africa during the course of the past month. Field from Cavani, free kick Uruguay. Oh, a lot of whistle at the moment. 7 free kicks in the first quarter of an hour. Forlan for Uruguay. Nice little shimmy to take him away from Kevin Prince-Boateng. Ghana simply haven't got into a stride at all yet. It's a bit similar to South Africa in their opening game here against Mexico, and it took them a long time to settle down. Maybe more nerves in the African camp. Remember, they're the last African team left in the competition. Forlan, a delicate touch, well read by Prince-Boateng. Now Montari, then Anna. Gets the ball knotted up in his feet. Until the Uruguayan goalkeeper Muslera has simply not been tested. He's hardly touched the ball, and Uruguay are enterprising again with Forlan, though he's got absolutely no support. He will get the corner though. 4-0 they lead on that count, very early in the night, 17 minutes played. John Mensah content to just prod the ball to safety. But Forlan's taking up good positions, so is Suarez for Uruguay. And you sense that they would be a redoubtable side to break down if they got a lead. Uruguay's corner. He'll get a flick on, and it's a reactionary stop from Kingson. He did well there, the goalkeeper of Ghana. He only had a second in which to react to this one. Flighted in, Cavani going for it, and Kingson with the fist. There's Cavani's header, and then another touch off one of his own defenders before Kingson flings up his arms and makes sure that it's not Mensah's own goal. Cavani to start with, then Mensah. But a good reactionary save from the Wigan Athletic goalkeeper. He's been the number 4 goalkeeper for Wigan in the English Premier League as Richard Kingson. Well, he's done pretty well at these World Cup finals. Yeah, can't control it. You'd have to say Uruguay are on top at the moment. They've had more of the ball, they've used it better, and they've looked the stronger side. This is Anna. But the first goal is always crucial, and it is Ghana who tried to get there now with a defence-splitting ball from Muntari. But there was too much pace on it, and it went all the way through. Here again, we see came off Mensah, and Kingston saves what would have been a third own goal in this stadium. Denmark and Korea have both suffered that indignity. Away by Sape. Taken down nicely. And then Anna. Pencil. Oh, that was a slicing challenge. The referee has said play on because they have an advantage, and Gian will backheel it to Muntari. And Gian again, he's onside. They were a little unlucky there. The referee played an advantage. They would otherwise have had a free kick, and they are going to get one here now. And it is a booking. It's the first of the night. And it is that man again, Fouchile, who will be out of the next game. Oge Fouchile, his second booking. And this is the next match. He'll be out of the semi-finals, but what it does mean, of course, is that he'd be back for the final if Uruguay made the final. The referee's ruling there harks back a few seconds to the fact he would have given another free kick just moments earlier had Ghana not had the advantage still. This is their best chance so far. They've got 5 in the mix. It will be a Muntari free kick for them. He's put it in well, and it's flicked out of ahead. The crowd are all oohing and ahhing, but there was no save again for Muslera to make. Coming up at the back of the line was Vorsar. It was Mensah who was close to the own goal at the other end not much earlier, and then finally away. Still a chance with Asamoah. This was from Pereira. Ghana at last trying to get a control of the ball, but with 20 minutes played, it hasn't started 0-0. That extra time victory over the United States was the first that Ghana has ever played in World Cup finals. Never had extra time before. A long way to go before we can predict it here tonight as well. It's a really wayward pass. He's already looking at his watch. We can tell him nearly 70 minutes to go, Oscar. Certainly hasn't had the drama of this afternoon's game between the Netherlands and Brazil as yet. There's a long way to go in the match. Drama can come at any given moment. Perez. Perez, who's been a rock in this side for a decade now. Pereira as well. His Portuguese referee is very keen to get the whistle to his lips tonight. A lot of free kicks being given away, and this was the latest one for the push by Vorsar. And you can see the coach is flapping his arms around already. A bit of consternation, I think. He's not happy about the number of free kicks they are conceding. It does seem strange to see Diego Forlan, their best striker, taking the free kicks back in what would normally be a centre-half position. I think they'd want him up there. Had he gone for goal? Well, if he had, it was a more than ambitious effort. Not quite sure what he was intending there. Maybe Suarez was supposed to come in on this one, but there's far too much loft on the ball for anybody. A couple of feet above everybody out on the field. Kevin Prince Boateng is back at centre-back now. Bit of a reshuffle out there at the moment, which won't last. Cavani can't control it. Anand does. Along the one he's aimed across to Inkum. It seems a handball, I think, by Inkum. The ball striking the youngster's left arm. Lugano. He plays in Turkey these days at Fenerbahce in Istanbul. Only knocked it onto the head of the Ghanaian player, and it's a free kick now Ghana's way. It was a bit of a risky ball, and that's gifted the passer to Cavani. Here comes Forlan. Can't get it through, but there should be a shot here, maybe from Forlan, who's clever at getting shots away, and rattles it wide. Diego Forlan, whose 2 goals came in the 3-0 victory over South Africa. He had 2 chances here. It was that wayward ball that set the Uruguayans up. They took rather long about it, and at the second attempt, Forlan got the shot harmlessly wide. There had been an opening a moment earlier, which Avivalio might have taken. Didn't have the confidence to try the shot, I don't think. Forlan did. With no success at all. Coming up to 25 minutes on the clock in Soccer City. It's Uruguay 0, Ghana 0. The crowd's restlessness perhaps summed up by the first Mexican wave of the night. This one does break for Asamoah. Hansel. Touch on for Montari, who gives it away straight to Cavani. He's got through here with a shot over the top. Suarez, keeper Kingston having to fling himself into this one. Suarez, who's already got 3 goals, of course, in this World Cup. Close to 4, despite the lunge of Mensah. Good reactionary save once again from Kingston. That's twice he's saved Ghana now. But there should be questions asked as to how Luis Suarez, with his reputation as well, was allowed so much shooting room. Uruguay continue to dominate in terms of attacking options. 5 corners to 0. They've got to make one count. They all came tearing in, and inevitably the ball again drops to Avivalio. He's the one who picks up the pieces outside the penalty area. They need to be a bit steadier in their finishing, do Uruguay. There's a problem for Lugano, who's gone down. This is why, I think. Pushing the back from Vorsar, and maybe he landed awkwardly. There it is again. And actually what happened was, I think, the big defender Vorsar landed on top of him, on top of the back of the leg. Anyway, we're back underway, and Lugano's okay. Officially took it down. Neither side making headway yet. It's a dangerous ball because Suarez is onside and should just about get to it. Yeah, he's just about kept it in, and will be another corner. Mensah, I think, conceded every single one of the corners, but it shows he's doing his job. Well, it's the only statistic worth recording is the fact that there have been 6 Uruguayan corners. And a couple of very good saves from Richard Kingston as well. 32 now, the goalkeeper Kingston. Once again, it's Forlan. A variation, it's short. And then Forlan loops it in. There could be something here, could there? No, Montari's headed it away safely. No matter what Uruguay try from those set pieces, they've been counteracted by the Africans. It really has been a tour of South Africa for Uruguay. This is the 5th different stadium and the 5th different city in which they've played. Forlan misses out on the header, but it breaks to Suarez. Then Cavani, who just gives it away to Montari. It should open up on the other side of the field here. Well, it would have done but for a late touch by Fushile, steering it away from Nkunku, who was Darting down there, this is Incook now. He has early company in Gian. He's gone around and around and done well. Needs to get the cross in though. It's taken rather too long. Still they have the option. In flat, and they'll have their first corner of the night. Gian held it up well. Victorino concedes the corner kick. We're just under the half-hour mark, and it is the first corner of Ghana's evening. The vuvuzelas sound ever more resonantly. 6 corners to 1 it is. 3 Ghanaian players are up here to try and pressurise the goalkeeper. Needs a good delivery. It was the closest we've seen to a goal so far, and it's the big man Isaac Forza who has headed this one fractionally wide. He's destined for Stoke City in the English Premiership next season, and they will have liked the look of that. It's a cracking header, and it's only just off the target. Gets up above Lugano, and he missed by very little. But Missy did, so still 0-0. Cavani on the ball for Uruguay. Fushile. Cavani attempting an avenue inside. It was initially cut out, but that will surely be... No, it's got a free kick. Just when you thought that there must be one there from Suarez, there wasn't, and there's a break on at the other end. Ghana have 4 forward here. Uruguay have 3 back. And it's scuffed wide of the upright by Gian now. No more than a minute after Force's header flew past one upright, we have a shot past the other from Asamoah Gyan, when Ghana will feel they should have scored. 4 up against 3 here, and he's brushed it past the upright. Not sure Ghana will get a better chance than that. More excitement in the last 2 minutes than we'd had in the previous 28. The scoreline remains unaltered. Offside flag raised. Quizzical look from Luis Suarez. He was actually sent off on his debut for his country against Colombia. Tavares didn't agree with the decision. Coaches very rarely do. Gian had a great chance there to notch up his 4th goal of this World Cup, which would have moved him level with Gonzalo Higuain of Argentina on 4 goals. Yet another free kick, this for Uruguay. Many of the South American officials who've been at this World Cup have already left as well. The feeling in FIFA must have been that there were so many South American sides left in the competition, one of them was going to make it through to the final, if not 2. Well, Brazil have gone out today. Chile are out now, of course. Argentina to play tomorrow. And here Uruguay still competing, as will Paraguay tomorrow. Fushile loses it. Gian can make nothing of the initial ball. Ghana coming into it a little bit more in an attacking sense in the last few minutes. Whether they feel the pressure of the entire continent being behind them, I'm not sure. But it would be a massive fillip for African football as a whole if Ghana did reach the semi-finals of these World Cup finals of 2010. Pushing the back here from Incook. Ghana actually lost out to Brazil 4 years ago by 3 goals to 0. By general consensus, they were unlucky to lose by that margin. They've already gone 1 step beyond that. Now they're looking to go 2 beyond it. Pencil wins it. Cavani already has it back. Pereira. Not controlled down the line by Fernandez. Nicely pressed it down by Kevin Prince Boateng. Important with a bit more. There it goes, Gian into the area, and out comes goalkeeper Muslera. Michel Platini in the crowd as well tonight. They've been to quite a few matches. There's one fella here in South Africa who's broken the world record for the number of games he's been to. Ghana have half a dozen forward here. The light blue shirts are funneling back, and to good effect. Still Kevin Prince Boateng. Then it will be Annan. It's off a Uruguayan boot, and it's squirted away for a second Uruguayan to get the clearance away. Now Muntari. Two teams working hard. Annan there, who is diminutive by comparison to most of his colleagues. Very slender chap. Just over 10 minutes remaining in the opening half, and there won't be much time to be added on for injuries either, not as things stand at the moment. Which is good news for the 22 players out there. Lugano just touched back to Muslera. Pereira. No relation to Alvaro Pereira, who's on the substitutes bench this evening for Uruguay. Sape. And the ball in here is to Forlan. He was offside. Just got the wrong side of centre-back Mensah. And the flag was raised immediately. This is more like some of the early matches we saw in this World Cup, where tension ruled. Nobody wants to give away the goal. Tabarez there, who has coached in Italy at AC Milan, in Argentina with Boca Juniors, and back in his own country with Peñarol. Trying to oversee a Uruguayan return to the big time, really. It's a country with only a population of 3 million, one of the smallest countries here, along with Slovenia, which was the smallest before they went home. They've made it to the last 8 and believe they should be in the last 4. Where the Netherlands advanced today. Fushile. Driven cross field, but only straight to the Ghanaian defender, Sape. Doesn't often get forward. Almost got through to Kevin Prince Boateng. Oh, he scored the opening goal against the United States, Boateng, with a driving run. Going to need somebody else tonight, I think. Annan's pass lost to Pantul. Then the ball in is good towards Gian. And well covered by the defender Pereira coming across there to make sure that neither Gian nor Kevin Prince Boateng does in the header. So they've certainly perked up of Ghana in the last few minutes, of which there are 8 remaining. Well, our overhead shot. The spider cam, it's called. This substitution has been, of course, Lugano's been struggling ever since he took that knock 7 or 8 minutes ago in the penalty area, and it is like for like as his replacement comes on. Andres Scotty, who plays for the Colo Colo club in Chile, but he's an experienced defender coming on to win his 28th cap, and he was once voted the best defender in Russia during his time with a club called Rubin Kazan. Inkum now. Bit of a blow for Uruguay, losing their captain Lugano, though. He's inspirational for them. And here's an inspirational moment for the Ghanaian side, but it's put wide. Muntari racing in on this one, steering it wide, but behind the 2 defenders, and he's turned up in an unusual area here, Muntari. He's been playing down the flanks until this moment. But right on the end of that, he might well have notched up his first World Cup Finals goal. Rather stern look, an unrevealing look from Tabarez. Well, it's a one-on-one again. Scotty's into the action straight away. Crowd getting a bit excited as the Ghanaians have a real tilt here with the Boateng. And that's a goal kick. Coaches hate having to reorganise defences before half-time. That's what Uruguay have had to do here. But Scotty, a good man to call upon. And Lugano will sit this one out. The question will he be fit for the semi-final if Uruguay make it? Well, there are a few days to work on it. Semi-finals coming up next midweek. As Uruguay are awarded a free kick. Suarez, I think, has said that's, what, 3 times now. He's been barged in the back from this uncompromising man, Vorsa. Vorsa, the one who went closest to anybody to a goal so far this evening for Uruguay with that header. For Ghana with the header. But this is a Uruguayan free kick for Forlan. The umpteenth one he will have taken. Has that look of determination on his face, Diego Forlan, who could have been a tennis professional. Played tennis until the age of 15. Now he's very much a footballer, playing for his country here, stroking the ball down the line. Well, dearie me, that sums up the half in many ways. A few boos around the stadium for that lack of technique between Forlan and Pereira. The referee is now coming to have words with Vorsa. I think he's spoken once too often, probably. Oh, and then he's just gone down without reason. Well, the word is cut it out or you'll both go off. Suarez and Vorsa not on the best of terms at the moment. 5 minutes before half-time. Uruguay in their 4th quarter-final in World Cup history, but their first since 1970. The World Cup was in Mexico, of course. That's good. That's a good play. And now Kevin Prince-Boateng with the ball, which was well delivered. He needs to get it across. There does Incoum. And across it comes. The defender in the way is Fushilo. Incoum made a back for the opponent who went down very hard, and straight away the referee reacts by saying we need somebody across here very sharply. Samuel Incoum there making the back for Fushile. And the medical attendants are already out there. It took them no more than 7 or 8 seconds to get across the entire playing surface to treat their man. Here is Fushile, you see, going way up over the top of Incoum. Not sure that the Ghanaian had any blame attached to him for that. That's a misread of the bounce of the ball from the Uruguayan defender. But having already lost their centre-half, Lugano, it would be another blow for them if they were to lose a second member of the back line. And Fushile landed very awkwardly. Lands on the elbow. Not good. Well, Incoum didn't do a lot wrong. Just looked horrible in slow motion. But he is walking off, which is a good sign. He's not requiring the stretcher. And Diego Fushile will continue. 2 fouls suffered. Suffered a bruised neck and elbow more than that. Two minutes before the break, but we will now have a minute at least of added time, I imagine. Ghana's passing has been better and crisp in the last few minutes. This is Gian, will go for goal. No elevation on the shot and a routine stop from Muslera. Ghana certainly have found their feet more in the last few minutes, and when Uruguay give them a gift of the ball like that, they should have been able to take advantage. They didn't. stretcher bearers are already back round on this side of the field. They had to run right across it. This was the Gian try. No harm done in having a go for goal, especially when he's already wrapped in 3 already. 90 seconds remaining in the opening half here in Soccer City. It's in this stadium that Argentina scored 7 of their goals. There are 10 goals, top scorers in the tournament. Taken down well. Suarez didn't look up there, otherwise he would have seen that Forlan had not continued the run into the penalty area. Less than a minute remaining in the half. Cavani won't keep that in. It's interesting that Cavani's playing down the left tonight. He caused a few problems playing down the right against the Americans. This ball in is good, and the overhead kick carries it over the top and wide from Kevin Prince-Boateng. Chance, no doubt. In comes cross, first time. Delightfully weighted, and there was the opportunity, but he skied it. That would have been one of the most acrobatic goals of the FIFA World Cup finals of 2010 had it dipped beneath the bar and not over it. Steered to safety. And we are already in the added time in this first half. 2 minutes of it. Ball from Scotty, picked up by Samoa. Good ball too. So the one who scuttles into the action here to win the ball is Arivalio. And whereas Uruguay certainly had the best of the opening 20 minutes, I think the feeling is that Ghana have had the better of the last 20. But importantly, neither side has managed to score as yet. Samoa. They're certainly passing the ball better than they did, and this is Annan. Put out by Victorino. Already they have it back again with Incoon, who's been a notable figure in the last few minutes. These long high balls will test the goalkeeper, but Muslera will hold on to it. We are about to stop for a break. A welcome break at 0-0. And Mensah takes it on the chest, puts it through, then Muntari. If they're going to get a goal, they're going to have to get it in the next 20 seconds, and Muntari goes for goal! What did I say? With 15 seconds on the clock in the opening half, Africa strikes, Ghana strikes, Sulley Muntari strikes, and amazingly it's Uruguay 0, Ghana 1, just when it seemed as though we would get to a break without a goal. Sulley Muntari brought into the side only because of injury to Dede Ayew has given Ghana, Africa if you like, the advantage. Well, he was around to turn and shoot, and he was almost in slow motion, and it bent away from Muslera. The first guilty party for me, though, was Arivalio, who allowed him all the space he needed. And Sulley Muntari, who was nearly sent home a week ago for indiscipline, has got the only goal of this half. It is Uruguay 0, Ghana 1 against all the odds. Ladero, by the way, is playing already in the Netherlands for the famous Ajax club, and he made a bit of an impact with them as well last season. So the gamble of playing Fernandes has not been seen to have worked. He was the one change made deliberately by Tavares for this game, but he's now been withdrawn, and Ladero is on. 1-0 Ghana lead. Can Can they retain that lead or even add to it? They've scored 5 goals now in these World Cup finals. And at the risk of repeating myself, they are representing not just Ghana, but Africa. And it would be great to claim, I think, if an African nation did make it through to the last 4. So a little similar to the scenario in Korea and Japan in 2002, where Korea Republic got into the last 4, only to lose to Germany in Seoul. There's a long way to go, and Suarez has got the ball in here towards Forlan. It skipped off the turf and up into the arms of Kingston, who'd anticipated well. Today the Netherlands came from behind to beat Brazil, so hope is not forlorn, obviously, for Uruguay. Still got a big chance to make it through. Those inspirational words from Nelson Mandela seem to be at the moment paying off for Ghana. Uruguay, incidentally, are currently on their best run since 1954, but they're going to have to defend again here now. Gian tries to batter his way through, and he ignored the man there on his left. Otherwise, they might have been in deep trouble, Uruguay. There is Muntari, who was the one who was up there. Instead, it's now Cavani. Down he goes in the area, and the referee wafts his arms around and says play on, and Cavani's getting himself up and wondering why on earth the referee hasn't pointed to the penalty spot instead. That will be an interesting one to see. Well, some frantic action at the onset of this second half. Forlan's ball in there, curled over Sape, taken down here in stride by Cavani. He struggled to do it. There was no foul, I don't think. Vorsar went across, took the ball, and I don't think any referee on earth would have given a penalty kick for that. What we have got now is a free kick for Ghana, who had a chance themselves a moment earlier, but Gian was rather selfish. If he'd have fed Muntari, Ghana might have been 2 up. That's a weak given away of the ball by Patson. And that's another one to Prince Boateng. And another free kick here. Oh, a lot of free kicks, and it's going to be a yellow card shown for Arivalho. Arivalho, who was at fault in the build-up to the goal, is now at fault in incurring a yellow card for himself in going across Kevin Boateng's body. He's the second Uruguayan cautioned after Fouchile in the first half. And the South American side are just putting themselves under some undue pressure at the moment. It is their best run since 1954. Incredible in the World Cup, unbeaten in their last 8 matches in all and 6 in the World Cup. But here they trail by a goal, and Ghana look to make it 2. But that's straight at the wall, and he felt that. Oh, they've been allowed to win the ball back, and it was arrowed in towards Gian. This one's ballooned right across field and right out of play. That's straight at the young substitute Ludero, who's put his arms up there, which is always a dangerous ploy. We've seen referees being only too willing to award penalties. Ask Maui Kiwi. That was against Ghana as well. Ghana, funnily enough, have had 4 penalties in World Cup matches, and they've scored from 3 of them. With the throw for Ghana. One defeat came here in this stadium, Soccer City against Germany. They lost that one 1-0. They're winning this one 1-0. So at the moment they've a happier story to tell from Soccer City. And now the referee's having a chat with Forlan. The player was some way away from there. There was definitely a handball by Incoom. Lugano is the captain who's having to sit out the remainder of this match. He seems somewhat perturbed by the events of the moment. 5 minutes played in the second half. Ghana's free kick. Free strung across the edge of the 18-yard area. Headed safely away by Victorino. Then Asamoah. Sasape. Their passing has definitely picked up, Ghana. They had an indifferent start to this match. It took them over 25 minutes to get going. But, they're in the ascendancy at the moment. Another free kick. This referee's a bit whistle-happy. There are 84,017 people in Soccer City this evening, captivated by this World Cup of 2010. Billions around the world watching. We believe the draw for the next World Cup finals takes place next July in Brazil. Over 200 countries will be competing, hoping to make it through to Brazil 2014. But here we are still in South Africa, with an African nation on course to become the first continent to reach the semi-finals. Well, inevitably the whistle will go for that. The crowd don't like it. They've not liked quite a bit of this refereeing tonight. A bit fussy. Back by Anna. He has it again from Patso. Good pass of the ball, Annan. Gives Mensah a bit too much to do on that one. John Mensah really an inspirational figure at the heart of the Ghanaian defence. Looking for some fluency here with Suarez and Cavani. Cross in here, that's a dangerous ball, and will be put out for the corner. Once again, it's John Mensah. He must have conceded just about every one of the 7 corners that the Uruguay's had. He is their rock. Forlan is Uruguay's corner taker. Centre-backs usually lope up for these. It's a bit flat. And if he keeps this in, which he will, Ghana will have a 3-on-2 situation. They can try and exploit. Now 4 up there, and it's a really weak ball, although Asamoah's just got another touch on it. But it is cleared, very safely cleared, not only as far as Forlan, but in good company as well. Here come Uruguay, some real cut and thrust there. Suarez. The knockdown doesn't reach him. Both sides had opportunities there and couldn't take them because their technique let them down at the critical moment. Fushile, one of those has been booked, may go for goal here. Oh, checked, and well, it might have looked brutal. It's going to be a yellow card, certainly, for Patso. Well, it was just the sudden stamping on the brakes there that undid Patso. Fushile suddenly stops dead in his tracks and he's caught. The referee really has no option. Patso is the first Ghanaian caution this evening. Vorsa and Annan on cards that would, if they get another one, would keep them out of the semi. And Forlan here is in a good position to curl one across Kingston. And there are 4 Uruguayan players at the moment in offside positions. But they'll seek to dash onside as Forlan plays it across. Will he go for the net? That's the big question here. Diego Forlan, a crucial moment in the match for Uruguay! Goal, Forlan! Clinically struck. And that's what makes him such a dangerous player. Kingston couldn't get anywhere near it. And Diego Forlan, who's become a real superstar for Uruguay over the last few years, has brought them back level. The Uruguayan commentators are going crazy. It's 1-1, and it's from the right moves of Diego Forlan. Look at the bend on it again. Kingston actually went the right way ultimately, but couldn't get there. Cracking goal. It ignites the match again. Game on, 1-1. Forlan's third of the finals. And one of the best free kicks we've seen struck. Well, the coach Tavares bellows his appreciation. And Diego Forlan on 55 gives us a potentially cracking match again. The 27th goal he has struck for his country, and what a timely one. It's up to Ghana to respond now. Once again, the whistle's gone for a free kick for the Uruguayan side. Putting an absolutely needless arm across the back of Victorino. As we see Forlan strike again, we see a goalkeeper totally confounded by the swerve on the ball. Kingston set off to his right, tried to bend in mid-air and was too late. Uruguay are suddenly not only back in this one, but forcing the issue, but over-forcing it there. And the free kick conceded by Suarez, who has now been joined on 3 goals by Forlan. 3 apiece they have. Could be a very good game now. Once again, we have the situation where we're heading towards extra time, but with 34 minutes remaining. Well done by Pansel, just checked and then found Lincoln, who allows it to run out over the sideline. Pansel's header. Uruguay will be rejuvenated. They were rocking just a little bit, and Ghana had the opportunity to go 2 goals ahead. Now suddenly they find themselves defending once again. The ball is headed back across his own area. Forlan couldn't get there. Kingston comes out and instigates a move forward. It's cut and thrust at the moment. This is Kevin Prince-Boateng into a good position here. Can they find the lead once more? Was there, they beat it away. Montari goes for it. Corner kick. Gian's shot. Once again, we see a goalkeeper preferring to just parry the shot rather than retain possession of the ball. Muslera probably had no option there. A big right hand comes out to prevent it crossing the line. Ghana's corner. And the player of the Vuvuzelas again. Can they regain the lead? Total fresh air shot. But they still have, well, they have options until the ball was played directly out. Gian once again proving a handful. He always gets the shots away. He was actually in an offside position there. The flag should have gone up. And had he scored from that, you can imagine the headlines. Ladero muscled out of it. Through the legs of the referee. Foul, could be a yellow. It is Perez. I think he's saying it's his first foul, but Diego Perez goes into the same notebook as Arivalio and Fusile and Pansel. 4 names the referee has. That was the foul on Osamba. La Celeste, the Uruguayans, are now the ones conceding free kicks. Lob back in, not very far away. Annan can't force it through though. It's a much more open game than we saw in the first half. Forlan involved with Cavani. Cavani will drift in field. He can be dangerous on those breaks, but when he loses it, the danger is straight away at the other end of the field. Kevin Prince-Boateng and flag it. Correct call as well by the referee's assistant. They've only got to time one of those right though, and Uruguay will be in trouble again. 1 hour played, 1-1 the scoreline. On another dramatic day in the World Cup. 30 minutes to go, maybe an hour. crowd are roaring for a free kick this time, but the referee is going to give it. Just to confuse everybody. That was a rather haphazard ball, which was easily picked out by Warsaw, who then makes a total hash of that until Forehand is off and running through the centre. Over his shoulder. Oh, what's Kingston doing there? He's not an outfield player, that's for sure. The ball actually bulleted back to him. It's had a spin on it, but he needs to work on his footwork, I think. How embarrassing would it be for him if Uruguay were to score now? The ball just ricocheted back to him, but it came at him from about 30 yards. 8 corners to 2. That's the count in Uruguay's favour. The scoring count is 1 apiece. This is the 8th corner Diego Forlan will have put across. There are 5 in blue shirts there. It was a poor corner, and the whistle's gone once again. Bodies all over the place. Not sure how you sort all that lot out, but it was Suarez who really caught Sarpe there. And the Uruguayans have the option here with Cavani, edge of that 18-yard area. That's a poor attempted cross, really. He'd all the time in the world. He could have steadied the ship. Could have looked up and seen what was on offer. The ball possession. Uruguay suddenly finding some space, however. Forlan will look for it through the centre. Warsaw will steer it straight to Forlan. And Forlan hooking it back across. Belted just wide. Suarez on the side foot. Could have angled it in. It must have come at it very quickly, though. Forlan here taking the ball in first time, whipping it across, and Suarez just needed to pull it back across Kingston's net. From whichever angle you looked at it, it was one of those, it could have gone in, and it just went the wrong side. Technique just let him down. Margin there, would have said there. Not an easy one. Marco van Basten might have scored it. Here come Ghana. Ball is drifted across, but beyond Gian, who holds his head in his hands, wondering what might have been. Well, chances now are presenting themselves. 16 in all, 10 for Ghana, 6 for Uruguay, and 6 attempts directly on goal. Here it is from another angle. Could so easily have been 2-1 Uruguay. That would have been the match turned on its head. At least from Tabarez's point of view, they are very much back in it. He's allowed it to get through. So Kingston saw the danger. Out to Muntari. Scorer of Ghana's goal. Literally 10 seconds before half-time. And the 2 minutes of added time. Forlan again, delightful little touch, and he's offside. Yeah, good call on the far side of the stadium from here, Bettino Miranda. Right call. Level. It's so hard though for the referee's assistants when they move like that, the one coming out, the other going in. It's the 3rd time Suarez has been caught offside. We still have 25 minutes at least of a rumbustious game to play. Ghana with the chance this time. Shot pelting in and is very well blocked off. Fushile's been an outstanding defender for Uruguay, and he was again there. He's the one who is now confronting the Ghanaian attacker. They'll have it back once more. They've got an insatiable appetite for work, this Ghanaian side, and Anand slips the pass wide to Jian, who stayed out there from the original incident. The ball in his good and fisted away by Muslera. No question of the foul. Muslera having to react here with Kevin Prince Boateng up for it. Could just call him Prince because that's what it says on the shirt. And here they go, down he goes! And the referee could have given anything. He could have given a penalty, he could have given a dive. In the end he gave nothing. There was a slight tug on the shorts. There he went in the Uruguayan sandwich. There's the pull on the shirt, which went unpunished, a pull from Pereira. If the shorts had come down, he might have given it. 24 minutes remaining. Very open match all of a sudden. And it was anything but for 30 or 40 minutes. Forlan pulling the strings. Checking inside. Denied a shot on goal by Asamoah. Well played Asamoah there. They will slug it out toe-to-toe for another 24 minutes. And then we'll see what the scoreline is. Uruguay with 2 of their substitutions already made. One early because Lugano was injured, replaced by Scotty. Ladero brought on at half-time. I've not seen him in the thick of things much as yet. This is him out again there with the ball reaching John Pansel. Jian buffeted, free kick Ghana. Scotty, the replacement, is making sure that Ghana can't take it sharply. A push from Scotty there on Asamoah Gyan. This will be, what, 28 yards out? Goalkeeper Muslera is standing dead centre of his net at the moment. Uruguay's #1, then he moves away to the left. We've seen one belting free kick from Diego Forlan, which brought Uruguay level. Now Muslera favours a spot closer to his right-hand upright. And here is that free kick, which is through and over the top. Jian is their expert, but he can't keep it down sufficiently well. In fact, it flew as wide as high. Manu substitutes warming up down on the touchline, hopeful. Ghana with a full complement to choose from. Lots of those who were on the start list at the beginning of the evening. You can't choose Andre Ayew or Jonathan Mensah tonight. They're both suspended, but everybody else available to coach Riley. Prince Boateng. Jian is still on it. Slides it through. Sape. Too much on this one for Muntari, who catches Pereira. Every time you hear the referee blow the whistle, you almost expect a yellow card to come out, but it's not going to do on this occasion. But there have already been 26 free kicks in this game for fouls. And 4 yellow cards. Uruguay's turn to come now. Up in the air from Borsa. Jian is always the point of contact in the Ghanaian attack. Well cut out by Fouchile. Then he served his side well. It's Fouchile on the ball now. Good advancement by the South Americans here. Most of them from Montevideo, and the chance presents itself, and Clint, well, apparently Vincent didn't get a touch on it, did he? He must have done, surely. Fouchile's ball, and then he continues the run. Suarez with the shots. It was going in until the keeper thrust up the arms again, and they thought they were about to be in the lead. Rather important to get the bootlaces tied up properly. Forlan, who has scored a goal from a corner kick, from a free kick, now takes the corner kick. Plenty of movement around the 6-yard area. Bravely defended, and the first shot that came in was from Arivalio, and it wasn't a good one. In fact, none of his shots have been particularly potent. That's a lovely touch from Forlan again. Now there's a race on in the other half of the field with the enthusiastic Jian going for it, bringing it down. He scored very much an individual goal to win the tie in extra time against the United States. Montari just got the pass through, just about. For Sape. Good movement about Ghana. They're flooding forward in numbers here. Samuel Nkoum will lob one across. Well defended. And not very well finished off as done by Anna. When you watch Ghana in this mood, it's hard to believe that they lost qualifying matches. We see the clearing header from Mensah there. They lost qualifying matches to Benin, Gabon and Libya. And here they are trying to get into the last 4 of the World Cup finals. Suarez of Ajax scored the winner against the Mexicans. He scored twice against Korea Republican. Another goal for him now in these last 18 minutes would go down rather well in the aforementioned Montevideo. Well, that's a shocking giveaway, and he could have paid a heavy penalty there in Jian's right boot, but Muslera scuttles across to make the save. It was an awful piece of defending, it has to be said, by Victorino. He was actually dropped after the first game against the French, which they drew 0-0. Cavani's won another free kick for Uruguay. And 84,000 people in Soccer City still don't know what time they're going to be going home tonight, and they don't know which team is going to advance. What I can tell you is that Stephen Appiah is coming on in place of Nkoum for Ghana. Young Nkoum tends to run out of steam a little bit late in matches. He's still developing. His first appearance was against the United States. He did well, but now he gives way to a much more experienced man who plays for Bologna in Italy, Stephen Appiah, who scored in the 2006 World Cup finals against the United States. First thing he'll do is defend against this free kick, which ripples the nets. It was just on the wrong side of it. I'm willing to have a go from anywhere. He's about 35 yards out there, and though some people got excited, there was no real need. Wasn't bad though from that distance. Kingston had to react. From all sorts of phases of this match. Uruguay on top for the first 20 minutes. Ghana on top for the last 20 of the first half, maybe. Ghana getting the first goal, Uruguay coming back. It's anybody's game. And, before long, they will, well, obviously still thinking of substitutions there from that shot of Tabarez and his assistant. In fact, they are going to make a switch. They're going to bring on the experienced Sebastian Abreu, 33-year-old striker called El Loco. They might not... Oh, that's offside. Abreu has got some extraordinary statistics against his name. More of that in a moment when he comes on. And here he does come on. The player who will go off will be Cavani. He's had a somewhat disappointing night, but What an interesting man to replace him with. Sebastian Abreu plays in Brazil at Botafogo at the moment. It's his 17th different club. He's been the rounds, as they say, but he has scored 26 times for Uruguay, and he did play in the 2002 World Cup final. He's played in just about every country that plays football. Asamoah, poor pass. Lodero. Forlan. They'll try and mesmerise the Ghanaians with their movement here. Across to Arivalio. Then Fushile. There are 4 blue shirts ahead of him. Arivalio again, who's the workhorse in the midfield. Well cut out. It's Ghana's turn. It's just that sort of a game at the moment. First one side having the initiative, then the other. 14 minutes to play. Uruguay 1, Ghana 1. That's a free kick. It's a very different game to the one we saw earlier, and there's yet another yellow card coming out. Sampe. He's okay. It's the first caution he's had in this entire World Cup of 2010. Hans Sampe. What Ghana do now have 6 players who are on yellow cards in the tournament, not in this match. Sampe and Hansel, the 2 fullbacks in this game, who are among those in there defending against yet another Forlan free kick. And it's a good one, and it's wide. The corner again, Kingston scuttled across to get fingertips to the header from Suarez. He's really been on his mettle as Richard Kingston in this World Cup. Clever free kick from Forlan though, and Suarez gets enough on it to believe he would have scored, but for the intervention of the keeper's left hand. Uruguay taking the game to Ghana at the moment. Oh, it was missed in there, and they'll probably concede another one. In fact, it's a goal kick. The last touch was off Suarez. This is poor defending, however, between about 3 of them. Actually, the ball seemed to strike the arm as well of Suarez there. We've had plenty of controversy in this stadium. Really, a bit more. Kingston, once again, he's a brave goalkeeper. And he's enhanced his CV at this World Cup, without doubt. He is looking for a new employer. The goal now could prove decisive. And it's just too far away from Suarez. The lively leader of the line. It's interesting that Abreu has tucked himself in just behind Forlan and Suarez. So Forlan is pushed a little bit further forward here now with the withdrawal of Cavani. That's the first touch that Appy has had on the ball since his arrival as substitute. Appy came on in the 74th minute. We've now had 79 minutes of play. This one is swung in there. Well dealt with by Scotty. Sape. Apia. Montari, 2 very experienced men, but that was straight onto the head of Arivalio. Looped by Panzo. He's on the ball again now. He's got plenty of room with which to manoeuvre, and there are 3 Ghanaians up around the edge of the 18-yard area. Victorino's clearing header. Which way is it going to go? South America's way or Africa's way? Montari, scorer of that dramatic goal just before the break. Both goals tonight have seen the ball swerve and confuse the goalkeeper. Panzer. Ghana probably wouldn't say no to extra time, having come through that route against the United States. There's 10 minutes left in which to avoid it. Starting with the Ghanaian throw, and it looks like being a long one from Pansel. Started their under-20 side back in 2001 in Argentina. And they'll have a corner from this, the backheader from Victorino. A little bit of nonsense again with Gian there, cuffing his man around the ear. Fouchouet not amused by that. He'd be even less amused if Ghana scored from Muntari's corner kick, which has the height on it. Dealt with for the moment. Up towards Forlan, who contested another one-on-one situation. The ball is through. If the flag stays down here, Uruguay has a real hope of a leading goal. The shot's too high. It was a good opportunity. Madero beating the ground in despair. So many players have struggled to keep this ball down. A real opportunity blown by the South Americans. Their turn to defend. Muntari unable to retain the possession. Abreu. Fouchouet. He may go for goal. Comfortable stop for Kingston. That was again Ludero's effort. One of his better ones. Apia. Pansel has to decide whether to bring Gian to play on the outside. Gian often through the middle, sometimes down the flanks. The blue is stymied for the moment, and that's a very hopeful punt from distance. No goals in the World Cup final so far for Kwajo Samoa. 7.5 minutes remaining in the 90. Ghana haven't taken part in a penalty shootout since 1992, when they actually lost 11-10 to Côte d'Ivoire. Forlan, that was in African Cup of Nations, not in the World Cup. Mensah steps in. Muntari loses the possession. Uruguay prosper from this. It in towards Forlan, who gets a touch on it, but the flag was raised anyway. He wouldn't have counted even if he'd nudged it beyond Kingston. Nobody wants to make a mistake with 7 minutes to go. We'll just see whether the two sides try to slow it down, run down the clock now and settle for another 30 minutes. Abreu. You can't miss him with the flowing locks. Slower build-up this time from Uruguay. Scottish pass down the line. It's a deliberate build-up involving Arivalio. Sort of a long-range try before feeding Forlan here. Forlan, who's a potential match winner without doubt. One of the most dangerous players down on the field. Diego Forlan, and Rewatch knows that. He's one of the calmer coaches, is Rewatch, a 56-year-old Serb, former Red Star Belgrade man. That was the offside call. He was off, Forlan. Two minor repairs being carried out on the touchline. We saw Forlan's toe make contact with the ball, but he was offside anyway. Uruguay creating things late on here with Fouchouet. Disappointing cross onto the top of the net. Coming up to 5 minutes remaining in the 90. Still Ghana have just made the one switch in bringing on Stephen Apia. They do have another couple of strikers in reserve though. Matthew Amwa and Dominic Adia. was Prince Tego, who started the first 3 matches and then lost his place. 5 minutes to go, 1-1 is the scoreline. No prediction forthcoming, because remember that goal in the first half came after 1 minute and 50 seconds of the 2 minutes of added time. Anything can yet happen. It was Montari who was seen as the guilty party there. So it was a Uruguay free kick, and they tried to prosper down the right. Short from Perez. Also lost. And on they come Ghana. Critical win of the ball there from Scotty. There is a bit of movement down on the Ghanaian touchline, and a tap on the shoulder just out of your shot of the 4th official, which suggests to me that Ghana are thinking of another switch. And maybe with the other 30 minutes to go in mind, of course. We are 3.5 minutes away from an extra time scenario. 3.5 minutes could be a long time in a game of football. It's Uruguay's turn to press. With hope. There will be a change in a moment by Ghana, but they're delaying this substitution until the next sequence of play comes to a conclusion. The ball is up to Abreu, missed by him. Kingston grabs it. The one that Ghana will be looking to will be Dominic Adia. He's the star man from the World Under-20 Championships in Egypt last autumn. He scored 8 goals and was the man of the tournament. And he comes on to replace goal scorer Montari. This was the way Montari made his mark just before the interval. Gives way now though, no complaint. And a rare young talent comes on to replace him. Dominic Adia, who's on the books of AC Milan. They see him as one for the future, as they say in footballing parlance. Can he make an impact in the last 2 and a bit minutes? And potentially, of course, another 30 minutes. Free kick Uruguay. We've had 30 of those in total. Took his eye off the ball completely there, Suarez. Ghana's last match went to extra time. This one's headed in the same direction at the moment. Maybe Annan can produce a defence-splitting pass here. Well, it was picked out very easily. Rosa. Then Fushile. The four-lantern chase unavailingly, despite the fumble by Kingston. Kevin Prince Boateng can't take it down, but Ghana will have the throw-in. Giam trying to find a bit of space. And so will be Adia. It's going to be a long one. Could we have a really dramatic finale? The place will erupt if Ghana score now. Ghana gets a representative in the last 4. The cross is good looking. Here is the man on the end of it. And it's toe poke behind for the corner for Ghana. Good defending here by Pereira. As Appiah sought to get him behind him. It broke just a little too heavily off the chest of Stephen Appiah. Nonetheless, Ghana have a corner with exactly 30 seconds remaining, plus the added time, of course. Can Ghana find a way into the last 4? Just nudged up to the edge of that 18-yard area. Will be snapped up by the Ghanaian midfield player Annan on the outside of him. Well, the defender Fushile is trying to run it away from Asamoah. Does so successfully as we come to 90 minutes. And there'll be another 3. Uruguay wrest the control. Getting the ball away from the opposition. Suarez angles it across the halfway line. It's up towards the aforementioned Forlan. Played straight out by Perez. This is Senor Bencarence's third game. He had charge of Japan against Cameroon, he had charge of Nigeria against Korea, and it looks like he's going to have charge of another 30 minutes of action here between Uruguay and Ghana as well. So his World Cup will continue a little longer. Unless Uruguay can find a goal now, with 2 minutes of added time remaining. And just as Ghana had an opportunity of a long throw a minute or so ago, so it's Uruguay's turn. And turning the words around, can Uruguay snatch it? Abreu will be in the 6-yard area. And it's going towards him. It will drop, and it will drop to Ghana. Respite and a tear out from 4, clad in red and yellow. It's Uruguay who have to funnel back now. Appiah into the wider position here for Prince Boateng. Hero against the United States. Kevin Prince Boateng's cross is far too long for anybody. And as it goes out of play, we are rushing ever closer towards another 30 minutes. Exactly 60 seconds remain. One last possibility for Uruguay. Keep on coming. Ghana have 5 and now 6 back to defend. Just requires one good decent ball in though. Like 45 seconds left. Kingston clutches it. Senses the urgency of the occasion. Away goes Pancil for Ghana. The Uruguayan door that is firmly shot in Ghana's face. Annan out wide, 20 seconds left. 20 seconds for Ghana maybe. The shot goes through, and here will be Appiah. Smacks it straight against the body of Adebayo. Well, we had a dramatic finish to the first half. It's got to be even more dramatic now for the avoidance of another 30 minutes. And that's what we're going to have here in Soccer City in Johannesburg. Try as they might, Uruguay and Ghana could not separate the issue in 90 minutes. Sully Muntare's goal on the stroke of half-time was cancelled out by a superb Diego Forlan free kick in the second half. And got to go through it all again. It's a test now of strength of mind and physique. Coaches Rewatch and Tabarez must sort out which of their teams is going to make it into the semi-finals. They'll already be thinking about who would take the penalty kicks, but the scoreline after 90 minutes is Uruguay 1, Ghana 1. It would be seen as a pretty desperate day for South America. They still have Argentina and Paraguay left, of course, tomorrow. So 30 more minutes of play and perhaps penalty kicks. But I think we've seen enough to suggest that both sides are capable of scoring in extra time. Ghana did so, remember, against the United States in Rustenburg, when Asamoah Gyan's goal eventually settled the result. Sape with the throw. Straight onto the head of Perez. Backed by Asamoah. Wide from Vorsa to Pancil. It's up there, the layback is good. Appiah's just touched it off to Gyan. Manages to slide it between two blue shirts. The cross in. Well met, but should be picked up again by a Ghanaian in Asamoah. They fought around the edge of the Uruguayan penalty area. Going around in circles, though, until Pansil delivers a cross, which is only steered away as far as Gian. Back from him, away by Victorino. Ghana controlling the ball. The best of the African nations. They lost the African nations final to Egypt, who surprisingly didn't make it to these finals, losing out in a playoff to Algeria. And it will be the first corner of extra time for Ghana. And the crowd suddenly come alive again, sensing this could be a big moment. They've had half as many corners as Uruguay, but none of the South American ones counted. Can Ghana make this one count? They'll have another one. Abreu flinging himself at that. Mensah's having a real old go at somebody. And he's got the yellow card for his protest. That's John Mensah booked for speaking to the referee when he shouldn't have spoken, and he's the third member of the back line cautioned tonight, John Mensah. You're saying use your eyes. Not the best thing to say to a referee, really. Happy with the corner. One Ghanaian is on the goal line. Adia, and three more in here. Well dealt with for the moment. Really struggling to get the ball away to safety, though, Uruguay. There's young Ladero. Quite an introduction to the World Cup from him. He was actually sent off in the opening game. Just come back in. And now he certainly has to retain his nerve and his concentration. There's a Asamoah floated across and straight out of play. Nice build-up, poor execution. Wide open bowl is Soccer City, as you can tell from that shot. Looking down on the players here, all doing their utmost to create history for their nation. And nobody wanting to make an error. Forlan, Abreu's down the centre. That's a good ball from him. Suarez just has it knocked away from him. For the first time. Scotty's made a good contribution since he came on. Always hit against Suarez. No question of a handball. Sarpe's throw. Dia loses out. That's a dangerous one. Has to be cut out by Borsa. Very accomplished play from the centre half. Apia. Out first time over to that far side to Gian. Samuel Gian, who's capable of such exciting contributions in matches. Tees it up now for Asamoah, who lets fly. Too high. Yet again, we've seen a lot of these. People struggling to keep this ball down. Not far over, but it is over the angle. In the semi-finals. Brazil out. And this is really a World Cup that's produced some spectacular results and some unexpected ones. We go all the way back to Switzerland beating Spain, Slovakia defeating Italy, England only able to draw with the likes of Algeria, New Zealand doing well. Still, we have one or two individual confrontations here, resulting in all these free kicks we've had, well over 30 in the match, which has had 6 minutes of extra time so far, another 24 to go. substitutions available. Manchester is really caught in the throat there. Continues. Victorino's clearance. Stepping forward now is Perez. Then Forlan, who scampers. He overruns it. And Uruguay snaffle it again. Until Sarpe steps in. Well, they haven't quite got into the rhythm of this spell yet, after that little stoppage. So it is out with Suarez now. And that might take a deflection, but it won't trouble goalkeeper Kingston. Retained his concentration well in this match. Annan. Apia. Gian. And Panzer. Gian's made the run, checks inside, looks for a ricochet. Oh, and gets the ball back there. Sloppy defending again, and Gian. And again Gian. And he was unlucky. The ball bounced off him twice, and it was nearly another very embarrassing moment for the midfield man, Arevalo, who lost it to him. Shouldn't be playing around with the ball there, as Arevalo did. I think the referee wants this ball putting out. Gian has stayed down on the deck in the 6-yard area. He might well have been celebrating another World Cup goal here. Arevalo, twice tonight, has really sort of lost his way. It was Scotty who got the tackle in, but ultimately foiled Gian. In there hunting what would have been a 4th World Cup finals goal here in South Africa. Defended well, Scotty, since he took over from Lugano at the heart of that Uruguayan defence. Ghana, by the way, the lowest ranked side left in the competition. 32 in the world. Uruguay's world ranking is 16 at the moment. And somewhere Gian could be leaving the field on a stretcher. Rewatch is looking to see whether there's a signal that he needs replacing. Adir, of course, has already come on for Ghana, one striker, and yet there is movement. Apia has also been brought on, and this will be the 3rd of the Ghanaian switches, the 3rd and the last one that they will be allowed. Himself out. Maybe he's trying to send a message to say, I'm okay, don't make the decision too hurriedly. He's certainly running around towards the halfway line as we come up towards 100 minutes played in Soccer City tonight. Still we can't separate these two sides. Suarez. Gian's actually back on the field of play now. So that was the message he was imparting to the bench. Let me stay on. Might get you a winning goal. Pereira. Back to Suarez. Lifted in and dangerously across towards Abreu. Gets his head on the ball. Brave defending by Borsar. Free kick Ghana. It was Matthew Amwa, the striker from Breda in Holland, the Netherlands, who is prepared to come on should Gian not last much longer. A man who's got over 100 goals in Dutch football. Amwa. Neither side able to achieve a breakthrough in extra time as yet. 5 more minutes of the first period of it to go. A good turn inside by Suarez, and then it will be picked up here and floated across dangerously. And there might still be another chance. There will be a corner for Uruguay at the end of all of that. Annan, the one who has come back to concede. Uruguay's 11th corner of the night. Sarpe, another one who's gone down now. Suarez caught him on the left knee. Certainly felt the jarring of that. from Luis Suarez. Scotty was the one who got rampaging forward to try and get something tangible from the move. And Uruguay, who had to beat Costa Rica in a playoff to make it to these finals, will go hunting another goal as Sarpe just limps to the sidelines for the moment. But I imagine, like Gian, he will return to the fray very shortly. They need 11 men out there. Forlan for Uruguay, they need a goal. It's not a bad one, but it's very well headed away. Onside. So beyond the reach, and Sarpe is coming back on now. Gian with the header. He got it well, he does do well in those circumstances. He's had a very good season with his French club, Rennes. On we go. 3 more minutes of this period remaining. Scott has gone roaring forward on a couple of occasions. And what's the referee going to give? Nothing, he says. Pick yourselves up. Abreu looks appealing towards the Portuguese official. Strange little skirmish, both went down rather too cheaply, Pansil and Abreu there. The referee saw nothing untoward. Abreu, the long-haired figure, getting there before him. Pansil making some sort of a contact, nobody touching the ball. And the referee giving nothing. Well, the leg was outstretched from Pansil. In the winking of an eye, though, and the referees have to make instant decisions on what they can see. The angle of their vision is all important. Inside the last 2 minutes of the first period of extra time. That was a free kick. It's already been taken. Appiah's got the ball for Ghana. Tries to shimmy inside Pereira and loses the ball. Suarez. Many chances to add to his 3 World Cup goals tonight, and that's a good ball he's played in here, and the deflection carries it into Kingston's welcoming arms. Deflection off Mensah, could have been dangerous, but the keeper again kept his concentration levels high. Probably a minute or two of added time in this first period. We got the knocks to Sarpe in particular. Someone could make nothing of it. Value gets forward to Forlan, who stoops into the header and is onside. It is Forlan. He'll look to see if anybody can join him in there, and will settle for a corner. There might be time for something fruitful to occur from this corner, because there will be at least a minute of added time, I imagine. The 4th official down there at the moment, Alberto Undiano, is going to hold up the board any moment now. Well, let's see what happens from the corner initially. It's the predictable in-swinger, and an excellent fist out from Kingston. And we have got 1 added minute, 60 seconds. Which will begin with a free kick to Ghana. Who's already been cautioned there, as the one who came across. That's an excellent punch again from Kingston. He's really performed commendably. Okay, he was beaten by the free kick by Forlan, but I think a lot of goalkeepers would have been. 20 seconds remain in the first period of extra time. He's up there from Kingston. Should be picked up by Appiah for Ghana. Transfers it into the path of Pansil. First time transfer is onto the head of Arivalio. And it's surely too late for either side to find a goal now in this first period of extra time. It is, and they should turn straight round. Some of the players will head to the touchline in the hope of a drink of water. The referee will try and put the ball down on the centre spot and say, come on, let's get on with it. It is, after all, 11:15 in the evening in Johannesburg. It's 1-1 after the first half of extra time. So with 15 minutes to go, let's see which one punches its weight the most. Or will it be reduced to a shootout from 12 yards out? I think we all thought it was going to be a tight contest, and so it has proved. Anand's pass. It's in long to the 18-yard area, and he does well to even get a touch on this. There's Guyan. He's an excellent front runner. Often plays alone in that position. Just couldn't quite bring it down with a full stretch. There it is again. Gets the right on the toe end. He might have been in. 14 minutes to go. Look at the size of the crowd here in Johannesburg. 84,000 packed in here. Thoroughly enjoying this World Cup occasion. Seen some good matches in this stadium. Good performances from the likes of Argentina, Brazil, Germany. And away goes Asamoah. The crowd get a bit excited as he puts a sprint on. Disrupts it into the wider position. There are 3 in red and yellow up there, and that's a wasteful ball. Really a disappointing finale there from the left boot of Adia. The yellow boots of Adia. Long towards Abreu. Continue to chase here and put pressure on Sape. Excellent win of the ball by Scotty, who's out to prove himself, I think, here, since he's come on as a replacement to Andre Scotti. It's a real opportunity for him, especially if Diego Lugano, who was injured in the first half, is going to be out of the side. Scotty stakes a real claim for that centre-back spot alongside Victorino. Deputising himself. So the other injured centre-back, Diego Godin. Sometimes matches tend to slow down almost to walking pace in extra time. Players' minds wandering to whether or not they're going to be required to take a spot kick. This one is up beyond Abreu. Great adventure from anybody who's yet in this extra time period, but another excellent take on the chest by that same man again, Gian. Ball's in it, ball's in the game. Should be a layoff here from Prince Boateng to Anand. Struggles to keep it away from Abreu. Happy decided to chase that one a little late. Anand again. Sven Pansel and Anand. Free kick against Uruguay. Lodero, the offender. Nicolas Lodero, regarded as the finest young product that Uruguay has possessed for years, but he's conceded the free kick, and the vuvuzelas are getting ever louder here, sensing maybe an African breakthrough. 4 minutes of the second period of extra time played. It's into the danger zone. And away first time. Lodero hooks it over his head. Another possession again with Pansil, who comes through the second challenge well. Shows he's still full of running strength. Anand slips it in. Appiah. Good cross, and the header flies over the top. Amazingly, Gian once again, he's on the end of absolutely everything. Asamoah Gyan. Appiah's ball was an inviting one for him. He got across his marker, and put the header too high, but he's got away from Scotty here as Gian, and just can't head the ball down. Shots in the game from Gian, 3 on the target, 5 therefore not on the target. Mensa's got to be careful on the bounce of the ball here. Annan. Only onto the head of Victorino. Ten minutes to go. Without wishing it upon these two sides, it is looking ever more like a penalty shootout. They won the ball easily and then forfeited it rather cheaply. Perez got in there to win it, but then he's one of those who's now funneling back as Ghana advance, but a really poor touch on the ball from Adia, who seems to have been a bit overawed in these early moments. Maybe there's a substitute appearance. But Mensa has played a ball straight out here, which suggests that there are 1 or 2 nerves on the Ghanaian side. Uruguay looking to win it, to snatch the goal that could avoid the necessity for penalties. Players don't particularly like. The more vulnerable. Goalkeepers like it because one of them is going to be a hero often. So in Uruguay, foul. And we creep ever nearer that penalty shootout scenario. Oscar Tabarez calm now. He gave them quite a lecture between the end of the 90 minutes and the extra time. They've just got to keep working and hoping, seeking that one little breakthrough that could make all the difference. Prince Boateng can't get there. Pereira can. Forlan's up around the edge of the area. Abreu's in there too. Well pressed it down. Pansel took care of that situation and released Samoa. For getting forward as hurriedly as possible. It is Appiah now. Come wide into the path of Pansel, to the centre for Annan. He'll surely spray the ball to his left, and then it's hit back in and across for Appiah on the chest, and excellently defended by Fouchile, just to keep Appiah at bay. But it was a lovely move from Ghana. Both sides still with the ambition to win it without that necessity for penalties. Ladero drifts away from one, gives the ball for Abreu. Options here with 7 minutes to go. The scoreline still 1 apiece, and it's beyond Abreu. It'll drop for Forlan. Blasted wide of the angle. Difficult angle for Diego Forlan. Spinning ball went off Vorsaal's head, taking it down in one on the knee and blasting it on the left foot. Decent try. Meanwhile, at the other end, we saw Appiah there taking it on the chest, but the defender was probably always going to be favourite from that moment on. Here come Ghana again now with Gian's ball in towards Appiah, who lunges for it. It's a goal kick. Appiah thought it was a corner. Value coming back and doing a valiant job. We are exactly 6 minutes away from needing penalties. They know that. Very knowledgeable football crowd here in South Africa. Ghana's chance. Only one across the middle, however. Adia finds up one man. Gian turns and it's scooped away and booted away from very close to the goal line. Despair for Gian. That could have been the moment to break through. for the four-time African champions, who now concede a free kick. Well, it's a bit of a mad scramble in there. It was a heart-stopping moment for the Uruguayan defence. Could have gone anywhere. Scooped away the last possible moment. Well, Scotty initially got it clear. And it's already up at the other end of the field with Vorsen and with another whistle. I think they've enjoyed the match. And they still haven't a clue who's going to win it. So they'll have another blow on the Vuvuzela. Great clearing header, but picked up by Sape. Will continue to move forward here, Hans Sape. Angled into the path of Annan. Away first time, and goalkeeper Kingston will allow this one to get into his area, palm it down. No great alarm. Hurls it out to Pantsu. Tabarez pointing the way to his players immediately by Pantsu there. It's headed away first time, then the clearance from Arivalho. Pantsu. 4 minutes to go. Well, they're going to need nerves of steel to come through this. Trying to wrestle his way through on the line. He's done well again to get the corner out of Fouchillet. And once again the crowd are roaring in anticipation that there could be an African breakthrough here with 3 minutes of extra time remaining. It is Ghana's 7th corner, 5 fewer than Uruguay have managed. But there will be a deafening roar if the ball ends up in Uruguay's net now. Asamoah with the corner kick. Oh, it's a shocker. And Abreu is able to boot it to safety. The only consolation for Asamoah is he can have another go. They've got 6 or 7 up here, only 2 left back to defend. And it's Abreu again who heads it away, this time for a throw-in. We've seen a lot of corners coming far too flat for anybody to get the ball in the net. That was the reaction on the Uruguayan bench in appreciation of Abreu's defending. 2.5 minutes remain. It's a long pencil throw. It's headed across and wide. How close was that? The replay will tell us that Kevin Prince-Boateng might have snatched it for Ghana there. The first header was from the Uruguayan defender, Fouchillet. The second was from Boateng, who threw his body in amongst the Uruguayans and has just put it wide. He's the man, by the way, who missed the penalty in the English FA Cup final for Portsmouth against Chelsea, Kevin Prince-Boateng. He's 2 minutes away from potentially having to take one in the World Cup finals. But Uruguay, shoulder to shoulder, no, free kick. .90 seconds separate us from those penalties. Annan has the ball for Ghana. They are the ones steaming forward at the moment. It's Gian, it's back into the zone. And it's away by Uruguay. Very competently as well. But the ball is back with Ghana. One last tilt from them maybe. And it's fisted away. Very well by Muslera. He could have been caught unawares by that. He wouldn't have been expecting a shot from that angle. Now it's Forlan for Uruguay. Their turn to come probably for the last time. Forlan is in the area. It's away safely by Mensah. And there's plenty of time for Ghana to clear their lines and to start thinking about who's going to be deadly from 12 yards out. 30 seconds to go. Pantsu with there a push there? There was, and this is the chance for Ghana again. Dominic Adia got the free kick out of Fouchile. Fouchile was booked in the first half, and he's gone over to remonstrate with the referee's assistant. They don't want to be losing a man now. How dramatic would this be if Ghana were to score and to snatch it? We've already had 120 minutes. Tavares looks grimly concerned that it could just slip away for Uruguay here at the very death of the match. Mensah will be one of those up for it. It's going to get the flick in, and Muslera, cleared on the line, and cleared on the line. The referee's assistant is flagging. What a dramatic thing. There's a red card coming out as well. Well, there had to be drama right at the end here, and the red card is shown. What a finish to the match. The referee's assistant was the one there who saw the handball, and right on the line, and it's a penalty kick for Ghana. There was the first header, the fist away, and then it's kept out by the leg of the defender first time, and then the handball on the line, and Suarez is sent off. Well, you couldn't have a more dramatic finish to a World Cup match than this one. People remember Maradona's hand of God. Well, this was a hand of Suarez that kept the ball out, and this man, Asamoah Gyan, has the opportunity to send Ghana into the semi-finals of the World Cup, and he hits the bar. Unbelievable. What a miss. And Gyan, who has converted 2 penalties at these World Cup finals against Serbia and against Australia, can't convert this time. He almost seemed to take it too casually, and he is inconsolable. Down on the touchline, Suarez was almost in tears. The goalkeeper Muslera didn't even get a touch, but they're congratulating him, and we are going to have penalties, and Gyan will have to take another one. Ghana should now be celebrating. Africa should be celebrating a team in the semi-finals of the World Cup. But with the last kick of the match, Asamoah Gyan has blown the chance of personal history. And all of a sudden, Suarez's mood has changed again. And despite the fact he's picked up a red card, it firstly doesn't matter, of course, in terms of numbers. We are going to have a penalty shootout here because it's Uruguay 1, Ghana 1 after extra time. Forlan will attempt to put Uruguay into the lead with the first of these spot kicks. Diego Forlan, whose father, Pablo, played in 2 World Cups. Well, Forlan has got 1 goal tonight at this end of the stadium as well. He struck an exquisite free kick high beyond Kingston into this net. He looked to beat him again. Victorino stretches his arms to the heavens. Forlan wears the look of a determined man. The first kick in the shootout for Uruguay is successful. Forlan scores 1-0 Uruguay. Gyan will attempt to exercise the memory of that penalty miss by coming up to strike the first one for Ghana. The whole of Africa will be praying that lightning does not strike twice and he does not hit the crossbar again. Asamoah Gyan, it's still a short run-up. He's got to beat the goalkeeper this time, and he has done. And he has exercised the ghost in the memory of that miss. 1-1. And well, he's had a very, very quick opportunity to get his self-esteem back. And and one of his colleagues goes out there, Anand, to congratulate him on keeping his nerve. Uruguay's turn. Mauricio Victorino from the University de Chile club. He's not a regular penalty taker. He's never scored a goal for Uruguay. He's entrusted. And he beats Kingston, smashes it high into the net. A 100% record so far. 2-1 Uruguay. Not many more experienced men out there than Stephen Appiah, the 29-year-old from Bologna, the man who scored a World Cup goal 4 years ago. This to go in to make it 2-2. Muslera will try and foil him. It is Appiah. And he does it. His shot was the one that was kept out on the line, which afforded them a penalty kick in the 120th minute. And that's the way that Stephen Appiah celebrates beating Muslera. Just got his fingertips to it, but it hit the back of the net, and that is all that counts. Uruguay 2, Ghana 2 in the shootout. Stepping forward now is the substitute, Andres Scotti. Nobody's missed. Emphatically driven low beyond Kingston. Must be such a feeling of relief when you see the ball going to the net, and he drilled that one straight down the middle. John Mensah, who once scored the winning goal in the World Under-20 Championships against Brazil, is next up for Ghana. He's never scored in open play in 69 internationals, but he did score with a penalty kick against the Brazilians that time. This to make it all square again. Again, he favours the... Well, he didn't run up at all. He'll be right-footed. And John Mensah sees the shot, saved by Muslera. It is advantage Uruguay. They lead 3-2. And Mensah is consoled immediately. He is their captain. Appiah and Gian go to offer their sympathies. The next one for Uruguay gives them the opportunity to take it to 4-2. And they have 1 foot in the semi-finals. It is the right fullback, Maximiliano Pereira, who blasts it straight over the top, and the advantage is lost, provided Ghana score with the next one. The drama continues long into the night in Johannesburg. Africa believes again, and Pereira blasted it too high. The net shook, but not because the ball hit it. It breezed over the bar. Ghana are very much alive, especially if this next one goes beyond goalkeeper Muslera. It's the young man, Dominic Adia, star of the World Under-20 Championships. And this is saved as well. And it's a horrible, horrible moment for the young man. 20 years of age. And we've seen 3 misses in a row. He needn't cover his face. It wasn't the best of penalties. Muslera going to the left, kept it out. And yet again, it's advantage Uruguay. Let me remind you of the score. It is 3-2 on penalty kicks. And Abreu, Sebastian Abreu, a man who has played 58 times for his country and scored 26 times, a man who has had 17 different clubs, comes up here, and if he hits the ball into the net, Uruguay will go through into the semi-finals. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? He's going to be the first one to use the left foot. Kingston has to save it. They all stand arms around one another. It is Abreu. It's the cheekiest chip you've ever seen, and it's good enough to take the South Americans into the semi-finals of the World Cup. African hearts are finally broken in 2010. There will be no African team in the last four. There will be the South Americans of Uruguay, twice world champions, but they make it through into the semi-finals after years of trying and bad results. They have made it through thanks to the left foot and the most casual penalty kick you've almost ever seen from Sebastian Abreu, the 33-year-old who answers to El Loco. Was just driven African man. Tears abound on the pitch from the Ghanaians who gave it everything. But it is Uruguay who advance on penalty kicks 4-2 after a scoreline of Uruguay